Football is full of surprises, and one such surprise was in 1992. In 1992, a team managed to win the Euros 1992, but the interesting thing is they weren't even qualified to play that tournament. Yes, I'm talking about the Danish Dynamite, aka the Denmark national team. The Denmark national team had failed to qualify for the Euros 1992, and in a cruel twist of fate, they took the place of the very team that had dumped them out of the qualifying. Denmark lost two games in qualifiers against Yugoslavia, which meant they would finish second in that group and they weren't going to qualify for the Euros. But fate had other plans. A war broke out in Yugoslavia and UEFA decided to remove Yugoslavia out of the competition and put the team who finished second in that group, which was Denmark. Just 10 days were left for the tournament to start and it was announced Denmark would take Yugoslavia's place. The Danish league having been over a week or two ago and their non-participation in Euros meant Denmark players were in mood to relax and enjoy their summer. Obviously, their vacation had to be cut short, plans had to be cancelled, and players recalled to regroup and reassess for the upcoming Euro campaign. When other teams like France, Germany, Sweden, England, Netherlands had ample amount of time to prepare for the Euros and who had spent majority of their last few months in preparation for the tournament physically and mentally, this Danish side had to do all of it in just 2 weeks. Danish national team coach Richard Moyer Nielsen had very little time to come up with a game plan and pick a squad accordingly. But this was least of his worries, having already faced difficulties before. Denmark's star player Michael Laudrup wasn't going to play for them because he felt the coach's defensive-minded tactics were a downgrade and had a fallout with the coach. So as a result of disagreement, he retired in 1990 along with his brother Brian Laudrup. But Brian later withdrew his retirement and came to represent his country when they qualified for the Euros. Similarly, Peter Schmeichel also expressed concern over Nielsen's tactics. He said they were a downgrade, but later he apologized to the coach and everything was well. Despite not having their star with them, they had other players with them who were known to put in a shift when needed. This team was filled with players who were relentless and hardworking. The Danish coach was said to be a person with calm demeanor who trained his team meticulously and took care of every detail. Nielsen himself, being a defender in his playing days, employed a defensive 5-3-2 formations with fullbacks controlling the wings, a defender moving up the pitch to aid the smooth transition from the back in the quick counters. Their backline was protected by a tough tackling number 6 in John Jensen. The other midfielders popped up in attacking areas. All the creative and attacking chances went through Brian Laudrup playing as a number 10 behind the striker, feeding him to score or score himself if he is in a better position himself. This team had the perfect balance of defense and attack. It had the steel in midfield given by Wilford and Jensen and attacking impetus given by Laudrup and Larsson. In defense, they had the captain Lars Olsen along with Kent Nielsen and Torben Pichnik in defense and fullbacks being Sivebæk and Christoph. And finally, the man protecting the goal, the Manchester United legend and goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel. So the stage was set and Denmark had to play their first match against England. And England was filled with star players like Gary Lineker, David Platt and Alan Shearer. But the match ends in a 0-0 draw. This game shows how underprepared the team was to execute their ideas and they need a game or two to set things right fully. Next game, they are up against like we were mourning a death in dressing room. After that, their captain told everyone to believe in themselves and channel the Danish spirit and mentality into the next game. The next game they played was against France, a team who was unbeaten in qualifiers but had drew 2 consecutive games and like Denmark needed to win this game to progress ahead. This French side had players like Jean-Pierre Papin, Eric Cantona, Laurent Blanc and Deschamps. Everyone knew this won't be an easy game for Denmark, but a quick early goal from Larsson set the tone of the match. France were chasing the game and they equalized through Papin in second half, but just before the 80th minute mark, Elstrup finished her attack and brought Denmark back in the game. The match ends and it's Denmark in semis with 2-1 victory over the mighty France. This victory was a huge boost to this Danish side. It made them believe in themselves and had that glimmer of hope that if they manage two more games, they can get something special. When all this preparation for semis was going on, Danish midfielder Kim Wilford was going through personal pain. His 7-year-old daughter being diagnosed by terminal cancer, and for him it was extremely difficult to focus on his national duties when his daughter was going through the harshest of phases. He was even thinking of dropping out of the competition to be with his child, but some strong words from his daughter made him reconsider and he was available for semis again. In semis, they were up against the mighty Netherlands, coached by the genius Rinus Michels, and had a team filled with elite players like Bergkamp, Ruud Gullit, Frank de Boer, Rijkaard, and their previous Euro winning goal scorer Marco van Basten. To outsmart this Dutch team, Coach Nielsen came up with a plan. It was simple. He instructed his team not to give any space in defense because that will be exploited by this team, and tried to score a goal early because till then the Dutch wasn't pressurized that way, and chasing a goal down against this Dutch team meant impossible to come from. Referee blows his whistle and game starts, and in a typical fashion Denmark take early lead courtesy of Larsson in 5th minute, but the Dutch team is relentless and with all their attacking talent they managed to score a goal by a wonderful strike from Bergkamp which left Michael stunned. Now when it looked Dutch were regaining control of the game, Larsson scores just 10 minutes after the Dutch equalizer, and the Danish team gives a defensive masterclass after that. Goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel is impossible to beat. He makes several crucial saves and keeps Denmark in the game, but a moment of genius from Rijkaard and Dutch equalize. It's 2-2, game on. Game goes into extra time and Schmeichel makes some more saves and takes the game to penalties. In penalties, Marco van Basten, the guy who scored the winning goal in Euro 1988 finals, misses his spot kick, and that's all the opportunity Denmark needed. They dump all 5 of their penalties in the Holland net and progress through the finals. Now in finals, it's against a unified Germany led by Bremen, the World Cup winner, and surprisingly they are no match against this Danish side, and Denmark wins the final with 2-0. First goal coming from their midfielder Jensen, who had a record of poor finishing, but on the biggest stage of all, he didn't miss. Second goal was a poetic justice. Still reeling from his daughter's diagnosis, Kim Wilford caught the opportunity to shoot from the edge of the box, and he took it well and scored the winning goal. His daughter was proud of the feat her father accomplished. After this victory, this team turns into legends and everyone applauds their spirit and sportsmanship. But a personal loss is overshadowed by a country's celebration. Few days after the win, Kim Wilford's daughter Line passes away, but she is the sole inspiration behind her father to keep going and lift that trophy. So this was my video on the Denmark's Euro 1992 win. Please leave in the comment section if you have any suggestions for me. I'll be bringing up more videos on football. If you like whatever I said, please subscribe to my channel and also do share it with your friends and family. I am Subhash Yadav. I'll be coming up with more footballing videos. Please stay tuned to my channel. This is Subhash Yadav signing off.